Hey everybody, top loaded. I'm just flipping through some of my cards and just kind of enjoying myself. It's kind of a lazy night here in northwest Missouri and feeling a little nostalgic. And I had my Royals box out. And I figured, you know what? Let's just show off a stack of Bo Jackson cards, man. Bo Jackson was the man. Bo Jackson, if anybody is watching this and you guys are, I don't know, 25 years old or younger, maybe even 30 years old or younger, you're just not going to remember Bo Jackson. I don't care what you say. You might know who he is, but you don't remember Bo Jackson. Knowing who he is and remembering Bo Jackson, that's two different things. You know, about the closest you're going to get to being told who Bo Jackson really is that 30 for 30 special that was done on him. And they did a really, really great job of portraying the legend, the God amongst men status that this guy had. I mean, you just don't understand. George Brett once said that it didn't matter what he was doing. If he was in the clubhouse taking a piss or getting a drink or doing anything, when Bo was up, you came out and you watched because you just knew there was a chance for something great to happen, and this is a future Hall of Famer talking. When you've got that kind of hold on a guy that plays the game at that level amongst others, and then you're something special. It's so hard to explain to people who weren't around during that time period. And then of course you get the whole, well, he must have been on steroids or whatever. It's like, bull. He wasn't on steroids. He wasn't that. I mean, it just, the stuff he could do had nothing to do. I mean, it was just unbelievable. It was God given. There was just nobody else could do it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then do yourself a favor and go out to YouTube and start looking at some old highlight reels of Bo. But I'm just going to flip through some cards. I'm not going to be super formal about it, really. I'm just, here's just some loose ones here. Some of these you've probably got in your own collection. Some of these are fairly new cards, They're just awesome. There's an oldie. That's a 91 Topps. Yeah, it's the traded card. It's when he first left Kansas City and went to Chicago. That was heartbreaking for a lot of us. And it's like the fun little sports flick style here. Heisman hero. And the guy was just a beast. The fact that he could play two sports at a Hall of Fame elite level, at the same time, it's not like he left one and went to the other. He played both at the same time. In fact, he referred to his NFL career as a hobby. Baseball was number one, but he played football as a hobby. So they held his position until he got there. And understand that back in the 80s, the Royals were a really good team, okay? They didn't go to the World Series after 1985, but they were still a force to be reckoned with in the postseason, And that meant that he was going to be playing late. And football season would have obviously already started. So they would just, you know what, dude? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about training camp. Don't worry about preseason. Don't even worry about the first couple games. Just finish up your baseball and then head on out here to California, suit up, and start running the ball. I mean, who else does that? Who else does that? People bring up Deion Sanders. Well, let me tell you, Deion was pretty good football player, pretty good baseball player, but Bo Jackson, no. Probably the closest thing would be, Jim Thorpe back in the 20s or 30s, whenever it was. And these are just fun cards. I get to stuff like this. That brings back childhood memories right there. The first full factory set I ever owned was a 1989 Topps set. And funny story how I got it, too. There was a grocery store in St. Joseph, Missouri called Parasoff. It was a family-owned grocery store behind the apartment that we lived in. And I was over there with my mom, and we were grocery shopping. And maybe I've told this story before on here. I don't know. If not, here you go. If so, sorry, it's the second time through. But I picked up a pack of cards, and they were, of course, 1989 Topps cards, because at that point in time, that's pretty much all you were going to find in this part of the world. You were lucky if you could find any other brand ever. But in the grocery store, you're going to find Topps. I carried them through the store begging my mom to let me get them. It's like, no, 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 no. I understand it was 1989. Things were just different. 35 cents for a pack of cards was, I guess, just unreasonable sometimes. But that was her answer. It was no. Well, I didn't walk back up to the front of the store and put them back in the box where they belonged. I laid them on some display somewhere in the middle of an aisle and just kept on going and forgot about them. 3-4 aisles later, Mom's like, well, we're done. We go up to the checkout. We go to leave. We're walking through the door, and the store manager stops us, grills me, thinks I'm stealing the cards, and I walk him back to, I don't know, the cereal aisle, and there's a display of cereal in the middle of the aisle. I don't know if it was cereal, but it was whatever. It was some aisle. Maybe it was macaroni and cheese. Who cares? But I showed him the pack of cards where I laid them down. He felt so bad that he went in the back of the store to, I guess, his office looking back on it. And he came out and he had a factory sealed box of 1989 Topps baseball that he gave me because he felt so bad about accusing me of stealing. You know, that's how I acquired my first factory set of anything. You know, and it was the coolest thing ever. You know, I cracked that sucker open, had a Greg Jeffries Future Star in it, so you know you had to. But yeah, sorted them into teams, then sorted them numerically, and you know, I was a 11-year-old kid, and I had a whole set. I'm used to getting a 17 card pack. You know, I mean that was above and beyond anything I'd ever known. This is pretty sweet. One of the silver packs. There's a Gypsy Queen. I don't know if there's short prints in Gypsy Queen or if that's just part of the base set. I don't know. There's a Stadium Club, another one. That's cool. Very Jackie Robinson-like. Super cool card. There's another silver. I don't even care if it's after their playing days. They're good-looking cards. There's a football rookie. Don't blink. Dude was fast. You know, to be that big, to be that muscular, to have that much power, and to be that fast. And if you don't understand, you know, I don't know if it's official or not, but it's just kind of understood. He's got, I want to say he's a 4.2. I think he hold in some capacity, he holds to this day the record for the fastest 40-yard dash in combine history. I mean, he was faster than Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill, man, is fast. You know, maybe it's a 4.13. I think it was a 4. Yeah, it was a 4:13 time. It was crazy. The dude was huge, but he was fast. And honestly, his speed is what wrecked him anyways. That's what destroyed his career. There's another one of those 91 Topps. He was running so fast that when the tackle got his legs wrapped up, his legs were moving so fast that it dislocated his hip and separated or ruptured some very important nerves. But had he not been running so fast, he would have just been tackled, got back up, and played the next down most likely. But he ran so fast, he literally pulled the rest of his body away from his leg in the middle of the tackle and separated. This is crazy, crazy, crazy. Only Bo Jacksom. There's some 1990 score, I believe. Those were super cool in the day. They came out in 1988. I don't know if I have an 88 score in here. I don't think I do. But everybody always refers to the 1989 Donruss as the first premium card, and I disagree. I think 1988 score was. I mean, this is just crazy, you know, because here, look, this is 1991 Topps. Well, here, let's back it up. Here's 1990 Topps, and here's 1990 score. You know, on the surface, they both look pretty good. This is a little bit sharper, has less of a, you know, cardboard appearance. Then you flip it over, and it has even less of a cardboard appearance, because this is a straight cardboard appearance, whereas this, there's another picture on the back of the card. Are there holograms? No. Did it come in a foil wrapper? No. But the card itself, in my opinion, it was the first premium card that was released in mass. I love Upper Deck, don't get me wrong, but Upper Deck was 89, the score was 88, so they're both pretty amazing sets, but people tend to forget about score. They don't give score the love that it deserves. Not to mention the fact that score brought the colors, you know? They had really sweet colors, especially in 88. Especially in 88. And Here's a fun one. This is just the 86 Topps Traded, but still nice cards. You know, I didn't even know Traded existed in 1986. I want to say it was 1987. I was flipping through, I think it was a Tough Stuff magazine, and there was an article on, I don't remember. I need to find the magazine, but it was I don't think it was on Bo Jackson. I think it was just on traded sets in general. And there was a picture of this card, and I was looking at this card in that magazine, and I remember thinking, what in the world is that? Because I had the 87 Topps Bo Jackson Future Stars, and that was his rookie card, and I was just like, oh, I've got Bo Jackson's rookie card, you know. I was like in heaven. Then I seen a picture of this, and my mind was absolutely 110% blown. I'd bought 1986 Topps cards all year long. I'd wrecked those packs. I'd never seen this card ever, and let me tell you something. Especially if you're not from that era. You've seen every card. If it wasn't in your binder, it was in your buddy's binder. If it wasn't in his, it was in your other buddy's binder. If it wasn't in his, it was in your other buddy's binder. Understand? By the end of the year, all our binders looked the damn same, okay? Because there was 3 brands, you know? And Topps was the one we all had, you know? So this absolutely just raped my brain. So I had to figure out what was up with this. And I don't think I finally ended up getting one of these until the 90s. I mean, I never even seen one in person until then. And here's another one that just absolutely eluded me. This was a card that would be featured in Beckett. You'd see it, but I think maybe through the course of 1987, I bought 2 or 3 packs of Donruss, and that was it. And it wasn't money or anything like that. It was you just didn't see them anywhere. I think I stumbled across a gas station in Kansas City that had a box of these, and my mom let me get a pack. And I think I went to a card show, bought a pack, and I think maybe a card show, and a gas station. I think that was it. I just remember coveting these because they were just so cool. And then this is the Canadian version, the Leaf. I think I pulled this out of a dollar box about 20 years ago when everybody had forgotten Bo Jackson. And of course, you got his Fleer rookie here. That one, forget it, in 1987. In 1987, all you were going to see this in was a book. That was it. This was just this was a holy grail card. So was the Will Clark. So was, gosh, Kevin Seitzer. And, you know, who else was in that set? Jose Canseco. And even the second, third year guys, you know, the Kirby Puckett's, the Roger Clemens, the Darryl Strawberries, the Dwight Goodens. I mean, this set was just, it was in unopened cases in rich guys' garages is where it was. And then, which one's this? Yeah, this is just the regular 87 Topps cards here. The Future Star and another one. So yeah, I got 3 of those. And back in 87, that was just that was just like, that was a great card. My friends were all jealous, you know, until they opened one up, and then they eventually got one. And then, you know, by the end of 87, we probably had pages of them. Here's the 86 Donruss, the rookies. You know, it's in a mag, and it's probably a $5 card, but to me, it's more than that. That was one of those cards that, you know, like this one right here, you know. First of all, it's the same picture, but you just didn't see it, you know. Not as a kid anyways, and especially a kid that didn't live in the big cities. You know, if you were in Chicago, Kansas City, Philadelphia, San Francisco, New York, you know, you had a card shop on every corner. Where I lived, there was maybe 1 or 2 card shops, and they were not in walking distance at that time. So other than in a Beckett magazine or the occasional card show at a mall that I would get to go to, you didn't see them. There was no internet, no YouTube, obviously. So, I mean, it was unbelievable that these even existed at that time. And I know I keep saying that, but you know, I can't stress it enough that some of these cards just, you know, you can pick up for $5 now. Back in the day, they might as well not have even existed. And that was the worst part, is you knew they did. You know, you knew they did, and you just wanted to see one. And you'd go to a card show, and even if you didn't have any money, just walking around looking through the cases and seeing these.
Keep in mind that event availability is changing rapidly due to the coronavirus.
Okay, Google. That's enough. Not sure what I said to get that started, but moving on. Here is the 88 Topps. It's badly off-centered. It is the Tiffany, though. So we've got the 88 Topps Tiffany here. And, you know, we start talking about not knowing that cards existed. Phew, don't even get me started on Tiffany. I think I was 21 years old before I even knew Tiffany existed. And I think it's because I saw it in the Beckett magazine. And these were absolutely worthless. And when I say these, I mean 1980s, 1990s, period. Didn't matter what it was. I mean, pretty much nothing held any value. You know, a couple bucks here and there. But then you would see that secondary section below 88 tops or 87 tops or whatever that said Tops Tiffany. And they would be 50 bucks, 70 bucks, 150 bucks. And you're looking at that going, what the hell are those? Yeah, I tell you what, I knew my stuff, but the things I didn't know, I did not know. And this was one of them. Here's another Tiffany. Isn't that gorgeous? It's a white cardstock instead of a gray or a brown cardstock. It's kind of like, it's the same cardstock for the most part that they use for the traded cards. It just gives it a cleaner look. So they got a white cardstock, and then they got like an extra couple layers of, you know, some sort of baseball card polysheen coating. It's just so much shinier, you know. And here's this is probably the big one. In a PSA 10, these things are like, I don't know, $2-3 grand. I mean, insane prices. This is the 86 Tiffany rookie. You can tell because the regular one, and you know, it blows my mind how many people don't know this. Here's the regular one. The regular one's got these 2 stars right there. The Tiffany has no stars. There's no stars there. But otherwise, they pretty much look the same. But if you look closely, the one on the left, the Tiffany, has a bit more of a yellow finish. Because there's multiple coats, I don't know, polyurethane or whatever the heck they use, whatever sheen gloss they use, it just, every time you put another coat on, it's just a little more yellow. So if you're looking on eBay and you see, and you know what, it may not be the fault of the seller. They don't know what the hell they're looking at sometimes. You know, they may not understand. They see these things listed. They think, oh, I got that card, and they list it, and they call it a Topps Tiffany. And you don't even get a picture of the back. If you don't get a picture of the back, ask for a picture of the back or move on. You get a picture of the back, like I said before, look for those 2 stars. If it's got those 2 stars, don't pay Tiffany prices. But these Tiffany's, man, they're nice. Especially this 86 Topps set. The 86 Topps traded Tiffany set, they produced maybe, I don't know, 5,000 of these. So this is a pretty sweet rookie card to have. Mostly because, you know, it's not mass produced. I mean, 5,000 sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. A lot of them are still buckled up in sets, you know, or they didn't make it out of the 80s, you know. And let me tell you, the ones that are buckled up in sets, you got to worry about those because these are so glossy, they stick together. And I've seen some of them where they've broke them out and they've stuck together for so long that when they peeled them apart, it literally started pulling bits of the surface off of some of the cards. So, you know, you got to watch out for those. And then last but not least, the only graded one I've got, 9.5. It's the rated rookie, my all-time favorite. This one is probably my favorite just because I like the image. You know, it's just a good-looking image. It's kind of the way I remember him. I went out there to the K a lot when I was a kid and watched him play. And I went, what was it, 1989? It would have been 89, yeah. I was a patrol, 6th grade, and September 1989. And the patrols went for patrol day to the K to watch the Royals play. For the life of me, I can't remember who they played. I want to say it was the Texas Rangers, but I'm not certain. All I really remember from that game is we got there. Of course, we're with the school, so everything is early. I want to say we got there a good solid 2 hours early, hour and a half early. I mean, it was insanely early. I felt like at one point we were the only ones in the stands, really, you know. There was probably thousands of people, but spread apart, it felt like nobody. And a couple of the Royals came out, including Bo Jacksom. They were stretching, they were jogging, they were playing catch. Everybody over my side was hollering at him, and, you know, I read baseball cards front to back, and I had that back of a Donruss baseball card memorized, Vincent Edward Jackson. That was his real name, and I just yelled that out, Vincent Edward Jackson, and he turned, looked right at me, he pointed at me, smiled, and threw me the ball. And then we proceeded to play catch for, I don't know, 30 seconds, probably 2 or 3 times back and forth. It was pretty awesome. It was pretty surreal for a, you know, 12-year-old kid. Well, 11-year-old kid. I wasn't 12 yet. But yeah, really, really awesome memory. But anyways, that's my memories of Bo Jackson. That's my card collection concerning Bo Jackson. I'm always adding to my Bo Jacksons, you know. Don't necessarily go out of my way to do it, but when I see him, I pick him up. And I don't know. I think he's the greatest that never was. I think had he not been hurt, he would have been a Hall of Famer in two sports, at least one. He was definitely going to be an NFL Hall of Famer. He might have been a baseball Hall of Famer. I think his batting average, probably career wise, would have. Let's just suppose he played 18 seasons in the major leagues. I think he probably would have been about a 2,700 hit guy, 25 to 2,700 hit guy, probably in the 300s to 400 home runs, maybe. And what, about a 275 batting average? Maybe I'm overshooting it. I think his numbers would have been better if he wasn't playing football in the off season. But, had time to rest, had time to really work on his craft. But I digress. He was still pretty damn great. But anyway, that's it for me, guys. I look forward to watching your stuff. And, this is me saying be safe, stay 6 feet apart. Later.